Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. L.A. Magashi. I'm from Chemistry Department, Kaduna State College of Education, Gidanwaya, Northwestern Nigeria. I'm going to present to you my article topics MTT assay of women, anti-breast cancer cells, in vitro potentials, and phytochemical screening of the root bark extract from the Cassia sorbiana, presented at virtual conference on chemistry and its applications on 7 to 11 August 2023, organized by the Computational Chemistry Group in collaboration with the UNESCO Chair of Computational Chemistry of the University of Mauritius. Abstract. Medicinal plant Cassia cerviana root was investigated for phytochemicals and anti-breast cancer cells properties using chemical separations and MTT assay in vitro. The Cassia cerviana root bark was extracted with succinate extract using different solvent based on polarity guided method, and the respective extracts were concentrated under reduced pressure with rotary evaporator. These extracts were screened for their phytochemicals qualitatively using standard methods. Percentage yields and physicochemical evaluations of the extract from the various fractions were recorded. The results of phytochemical screening revealed the presence of some secondary metabolite of pharmacological significance in the methyl acetate, methanol, 70% methanol, including saponin, quinones, phenolic, steroid, tannins, flavonoids, diphenoids, anthraquinones, cardioglycoside, alkaloid, carbohydrate, glycosides, coumarin, and coumarin. Results obtained from the MTT assay revealed that extract of methanol and 70% methanol samples shown a certain degree of inhibition towards MCF7 cell lines. The IC50 were calculated using GraphPad Prism 6, and the results shown that IC50 of 245.3 microgram per mil and 239.6 microgram per mil dose-dependent inhibitions in MCF7 cells respectively, compare to ozololeftin with IC50 of 38.04 microgram per mil. Therefore, 70% methanol sample with the IC50 of 239.6 microgram per mil have shown more potentials of inhibition breast cancer cells MCF7 cell line. The inhibitions of the root bark is attributed to some of the phytochemical present in the plant. Introduction. Breast cancer is a disease in which cells in the breast grow out of control. Statistics show that more than 1 million new cases of female breast cancer are diagnosed each year worldwide. It was shown since 1975 that the annual worldwide breast cancer incidence had almost doubled, which means that the prevalence and incidences increase with increasing age. By the year 2020, it was estimated that 70% of the new cases of cancer world will occur in the developing countries, and the majority of these cases will be cancer of the breast. Plant drive substances have recently become a great interest owing to their versatile applications. Medicinal plants are the richest bioresources of drugs for traditional system of medicine and even modern medicine. Medicinal plants are useful for healing as well as for curing human diseases. because of the presence of phytochemical constituents. With this, with the historic potentials of natural products as excellent candidate for potential drugs, and Cassia cerevisiana are widely used in traditional medicine in Africa. And it is against this background that phytochemical screening and in vitro potentials of the root bag extract of Cassia cerevisiana for human anti-breast cancer cells using MTT assay were investigated. Material and method. Plant identifications and collections. The plant samples were obtained from southern part of Kaduna State, northwestern Nigeria, and the samples were identified at Biological Science Department, Gombe State University by Dr. Y.A. Yorio and Dr. Mohammed Chindu. The voucher number were given and samples were deposited there. The samples extractions were carried out by social extraction method using 6 different solvents based on gradient polarity, starting from the most polar to the starting from the less polar to the most polar solvent, from petroleum ether to 70% methanol. Identifications of these chemical constituents were done using standard method with little modification, and the cancer exhibition assay were also done using MTT assay, which is the most simplest and reproducible method of assessing the viable cells. The cell lines and culture medium were obtained from microbial type culture collections and genes bank MTCC in Bangalore, India. And the percentage inhibition were calculated using the following formula: 100 minus optical density of the samples over optical density of the control times 100. So results obtained from the extractions using various solvents show that in table 1 we have percentage yields and physical chemical evaluations of the extract of Cassia cerevisiana. From column 1 we have the extraction solvents, where it was guided from the most less polar solvent petroleum ether to the most polar solvents. And the second column is the percentage recovery of the extract in grams. And the next column is a percentage yield. And the next columns are the color and texture of the extract. So based on the quantity of the yields, I further selected extract from the methyl acetate, which yields 24.62 yields, and methanol extra, which yield 4.635, and methanol 70% methanol, which yields 30.68 684 yields for further analysis. For the qualitative screening of the Cassia cerevisiana root bag extract, I detected about 13 phytocompounds with various methods, which include saponin, quinone, phenol, steroid, tannins, flavonoid, terpenoid, anthraquinone, cardioglycoside, alkaloid carbohydrates, glycoside, and coumarin. And I gave much attention to to the solvent methyl acetate, methanol, and 70% methanol based on the selections of the yields from the previous slide. The third tables were the analysis of the MTT assay of NCF7 cell line for Cassia cerevisiana. We compare the three extracts of methyl acetate, 70% methanol, and methanol. We compare it with the standard oxaliflatin, and control, we use water. And then water control does not give any inhibition. Inhibition is 0.00%, where the standard oxaliflatin at hundreds microgram per mil, it inhibit about 74.96%. As such, we can be able to use the graphite prism 6 to calculate the IC50 of 38.04 microgram per mil. The extract from methyl acetate at concentrations of 320 microgram per mil, it inhibits about 39.22%. As such, we cannot be able to calculate the IC50 since the inhibition is not up to 50%. For the 70% methanol, at the same concentrations of uh, 320, it inhibit about 65.23%. And the IC50 were calculated to be 239.6 microgram per mil. And the same with the methanol, where 58 point, where inhibition recorded was 58.27%, and the IC50 were calculated to be 245.3 microgram per mil. And this is a graph of plot of inhibition by cis concentration. The first upper graph is a percentage inhibition and by cis concentrations of the oxaliflatin. The IC50 were calculated to be 38.004. And the lower graph from the left is 70% methanol sample, where the IC50 were calculated to be 239.6, and the right graph is a methanol extract, where the IC50 were calculated to be 245.3. And this is a plot of concentration against inhibitions. So in conclusion, the analysis of this medicinal plant Cassia cerevisiana root bark extract samples have shown a certain degree of inhibition towards MCF7 cells line, dose-dependent inhibition compared to oxaliflatin, and this can be attributed to some of the phytochemical presence in the plant. So the presence of this chemical constituent in the root bark extracts of Cassia cerevisiana is an indication that these plants, if properly screened, will yield drugs of plant origin with pharmacological significance. Thank you for the listening.